Hi, good afternoon, Ralph. Could I start with a bit of in-news, please? How's Danny progressed? Still on target for an end of the month comeback?
I couldn't say a complete question, but I think it was about Daniel and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's sure out until the international break, I think, and hopefully we have him back after the international break.
So a win against Brighton would lift you to 36 points. That total has been enough to keep a team inside the Premier League for the last 4 years now. Would a victory allow you to start making plans for next year and maybe even focus on the FA Cup?
I don't think that 36 are enough this season, to be honest, because Fulham has a good run now and they're showing up. So we are not focusing on the 36. We are focusing on getting as much points as possible. And on the weekend, we have a chance for getting a few more.
Premier League have asked clubs for their observations on how to improve VAR. How would you improve it based on what you know so far?
How long do we have time to speak about that?
About 3 hours.
Okay. I mean, we all see that these subjective decisions from handballs and fouls, especially in the box, are the most discussionable point. I was always speaking about that I was a big fan of the VR, although this season we had a few moments where the VR simply didn't do its job. Afterwards, the decisions were denied, and we had, for example, a red card from Jan Bertrand, no suspension because it was not a foul and no penalty. So they simply didn't do a job, but as always, they're humans. Humans make mistakes, and the decision only on the next level, but it's also a human who takes the decision. I know it's a little bit radical. I have my own opinion about fouls and handballs in the box. They are not leading to a goal, or they are not defending a goal like a handball on the edge of the box. I can think about the intention when it is easier to decide than give an indirect free kick, and it's not so decisive for a game, and then the discussion will be less. I think this is my opinion I always have, and I know that this is radical change, but I think in the past, when I was starting playing football, we had this indirect free kick for a handball without intention all over the pitch. This is also possible for me to bring it in the box in the decision, but yeah, it's not on me to decide this. This would help to put the pressure of the VR. I think in total we have always the feeling that the game gets more controlled with the VR. I'm still a big fan from it because in some offside decisions, you cannot play on offside anymore when you don't know that the VR is there. We see when we, for example, play cup game without VR, it's a completely different game then, and you get used to it now. And I like to have it, and I know that not everything is perfect, but I'm still a fan from the VR.
Just finally, for me, your reaction to Chris Wilder's departure from Sheffield United this morning. It shows, if nothing else, how quickly great work can be undone in football.
Yeah, I mean, quickly. He had this season a lot of problems with winning games, and I mean, we have now the third dismiss in the Premier League this season in 20 teams so far. So I think this is part of our business. We know this, and still think that he did a great job there. And with the limits this club has, he made the best out of it. And I wish him all the best. I like this mate, and I think he was absolutely good for this club. But always there's the time when the time has come to leave, and this is for every manager the same.
Thanks, Ralph. Cheers.
Thank you.
Okay, Rebecca at PLP.
Good afternoon, Ralph. Firstly, how vital are these next few weeks for the club on the pitch?
Oh, like the past few weeks, very vital. Always, we have always our points to take. It's always difficult in the Premier League, but we have some interesting games coming up with league games and cup games. So really looking forward to the next weeks. And then we have finally the first time since a long time an international break where we can a little bit get some time to train. That would help us massively, I think, because there are some things in our game not perfectly working sometimes, and this is what you can work on. I think everybody enjoys to have a whole week, maybe with not the whole part of the team, but a lot of players are staying here. Hopefully, nobody has to travel somewhere where it's dangerous and then has to go in quarantine. I think this would not be possible for me. But yeah, we are looking forward to the next few weeks.
And McCarthy and Forster, you've got two very experienced number one goalkeepers. What was your thought process in changing McCarthy in for Forster?
Yeah, simple that the other one had deserved it to play, and I think he did a good job again. Fraser is in good mode. He showed that he goes in a battle with Alex, and I think this is important in every position to have a good duel to let the better one play. And in the moment, Fraser has had the little bit better momentum in his game, and this is what we need.
Brighton on Sunday, a fixture that you were unbeaten in 7 of the last Premier League meetings with them. Are you hoping to extend this?
Yeah, always. We hope to be successful. Yeah, and this is a tough game on the weekend. A very good side. We had a very tight first game where we turned the table around, and finally, I think we see a team not giving you a lot of chances. We are facing a team that is good organized, with the ball strong, and yeah, will be a very, very tough game.
And Ralph, what can we expect from Southampton after the Man City defeat? Because there were good moments in the game and where you really put up a fight.
Yes, I mean, for us, it was clear that we cannot go with every player that played the weekend before. So we had to make a lot of changes. And for this, I must say, we did a good job there. We missed only one part of our game, and this was the deep defending around the box. It was definitely not good enough. And against such a team, you need to do this because they are so strong and they have such a good finish. If they are not committed in that way, then it's tough to get something. But the rest of the game was okay. Against the ball, we had a lot of ball wins. With the ball, we had some good moments. But that's not enough. So I have some good moments against such a strong side. It's not enough. But yes, I mean, now are coming the games where we have hopefully a better chance to take points. And this is what we have to grab with both hands.
Last one for me, Ralph. Is there any new injury updates ahead of Sunday?
Yeah, Musa was out after 30 minutes, I think, in the last game. Doesn't look that bad. So hopefully he can start training by the end of the week. So it can be an alternative for the weekend, but we don't know it yet.
Thank you very much, Ralph, and good luck for the weekend.
Adam at Radio Solent.
Thanks, Jordan. Good afternoon, Ralph.
Hello.
Are you surprised where Brighton are in the table? Because when I watch them, sometimes they play some great football, and I'm always surprised to see them quite so low as they are.
Yes, but you know, the Premier League is tough, and taking wins is always difficult. And I think they have the same issues like we have sometimes, playing better and not getting what you maybe should get because the opponent has so much quality that one or two actions can kill you the game. And I think this was the problem they had also this season. Like last season, we tried, and I think there we are on the same level. We tried to play with the best possible shape, with the best organization we have, with the players we have to be successful. And when they have a good run, they can beat everybody, I think, or every team. When they have a little bit problems with injuries like they have now in a moment, then it's a little more difficult, like we have the same problem. So very similar to us, also from the circumstances in the club, very similar. South Coast duel, interesting one for us. And we know that we need to have a very good game to win against them.
Che Adams, he's got a couple of goals in the last 2 games, which is great for his confidence, especially with Danny not out for until the break's finished. So how convinced is he or you that he is a proper Premier League striker? I mean, does he need to do more, or is it just the fact that his form dipped a bit with the side's form over Christmas and New Year? I mean, how happy are you with his game? What do you want to see him improve on?
I think what I like the most is that he was always hardworking and fighting for the team. He's a good character and likes to learn and likes to work hard also on the training pitch. I think that the difference between Championship and Premier League is definitely massive, and but I mean that he can score goals. He has shown in all clubs he played so far, and it's a little more difficult for us in the Premier League. You don't get that many chances, and if you have one, you should be relatively clinical. We have seen in the last game, and yes, this is something he has to work on. His decision making sometimes is still a little bit slow. I wouldn't say slow, but not so quick like we need to do it in the Premier League. And then you don't have this time here, and this is what creates sometimes stress. And then the finish is maybe not the best one, but there's nothing. This is nothing what you cannot learn, what you cannot develop in the future. And I'm looking forward that he is getting better and better with every year he's playing with us.
Just finally, a contract one that's nothing to do with Danny Ings, which is a rare question on these press conferences. I did think by now that Ryan Bertrand would have signed a new contract, but that hasn't happened yet. So any problems with that? Any reasons why we don't know about Ryan's future yet?
No, we are in negotiation with him, and this will stay until the end of the season, hopefully not. And I think we should do our job at first. We should look that we stay in the league, that we finish the league in a good way. And by the way, we try to develop, we try to extend all the contracts what are important for us. And you can be sure that in the background, the negotiations are going on.
Thank you, Ralph. Good luck Sunday lunchtime.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Jim, PA.
Hi, Ralph. How are you?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Can I just check on Musa? Did you say he might be available for the weekend? Yeah. So you don't think it's too much of a problem?
Yeah. I think sometimes with Musa, it's his body reacts in a strange way. When I want to say it like this, sometimes it feels harder or worse than it is in the end. And but also when you scan him, he shows immediately a lot of blood in muscles when he has all injuries. So you have to pay attention how tough the injury definitely is. And this is not so easy for our physios to be clear or to see clear. Sometimes he reacts better than they think. When they make the test with him, it looks better than it should be normally. And so it's always tough to decide if he's available or not.
What do you feel as a group you can learn from a defeat against a side, Manchester City, who are beating everybody at the moment?
Oh, I mean, that it is not always that clear, like the result shows it in 90 minutes when you play against them. But the difference is the quality in the final third, how hungry they are to score. I mean, when you see the first goal we conceded, this balls we also play very often in the box. We also have very often this first touch and bring the ball in the center. But the difference is that then there are three players, and when the first one shots on the goal and the goalkeeper makes a save, then it's the second one who brings it in the back of the net. And this is the difference. They are so hungry to go there, and I mean they play all weeks 3 games. So this is I think the fact that you have to recognize and to see that this is maybe the different and this is quality, yes, but this is also hunger to be successful, and this is fantastic.
Do you feel now you're entering the defining period of Southampton's season with the run of games you've got coming up?
For me, every month is decisive, to be honest, because when you don't take consistently points, you find yourself in a very tough situation. And I mean, we had a very, very good period in the beginning of the season with the best possible team available for a few months, and then you can see what we can achieve. And we have also seen a term in this season where we were really struggling to take any points. So everything is possible in the Premier League, and that's the reason why you can never say, okay, now is the decisive one, and now is the upcoming games are the most important ones. They're always important.
Thanks, Ralph. Good luck at the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the section for 10:30 this evening and start with Dan at The Athletic.
Thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon, Ralph.
Hello.
Last season, I remember you being very vocal about 36 points being the tally where you will start planning for next season, start looking at renewing contracts. Why not 36 this season? You just don't think that's going to be enough to keep Southampton up?
To be honest, it can be more. I don't know how the teams behind us compete in the future, but yeah, definitely it can be quite close. And to be honest, I also don't want to just fall over the line. So it would be nice when we speed up our game now a little bit and don't look to being part of the relegation battle. I mean, this is the goal we have, and it is not long ago that we have been in the top 6, 7 in the league, and with winning against nearly everybody. And now we must be clear that we have to play better. And I think we have shown a few good steps in the last 2-3 weeks. But yeah, we are looking forward to having more time to train, to be honest. This always helped us to be better on the pitch on the weekend. Players are coming back from injuries. It also helps us. And then finally, yeah, we have to take the final games for getting as much points as possible.
You mentioned there you don't want your players and your team to fall over the line this season. I think last season we all saw the benefit of that brilliant run you went on during Project Restart into the new season, where there wasn't a break. You were just able to bring that momentum forward. Is that what you've got in mind in terms of this not falling over the line, that if we can finish strongly as we did last year, then that just creates a different dynamic going forward into the summer?
Yes, but it doesn't mean that you start the next season then quite well, because we also started with 2 defeats the next season. So it is not that easy. I think what we have shown is if we are fit, and I think we have been after the lockdown definitely one of the fittest team in the league, because the players were working hard at home, were working on their deficits. We had time to work, and this is what we were missing in the last weeks: time to work together, time to work on our fitness and our deficits we have. And then some automatism are dropping even more, and the organization is not so good. You see some weakness in your game, and you should normally have 2-3 sessions to fix it, and you don't have in a moment because you are not allowed, or you cannot train. You can only recover in a moment. And yes, that's maybe the chance for the international break to work on a few things, and we will like to do this. Although there's not every player here, this is the other problem. But finally, I think that made us strong, and yeah, this is what you need sometimes, a break to reset and to work hard.
Thank you, Ralph. Best of luck for Sunday.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go back to Aidan at Sky.
Ralph, I just wanted to ask you about the FA charge yesterday. Were you surprised at it, and will you be appealing?
We will not appeal. I was surprised because I think the reaction, it was maybe from my players, not okay. But I could understand it, to be honest, because when a game is decided in the overtime of a game, you are 2 up, and you see such a frustrating foul. And you know our history with injuries, and I understand that they are on 108 at that moment. I mean, this is not perfect, but I understand my players, and we accept the fine. What can we do?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Tom at the Echo.
Hi, Ralph. Afternoon. Just want to ask you about James Ward-Prowse, actually. Ever since you made him captain last year, the club went on a brilliant run of results last season and into this season. This has been the first sort of tough run recently. How has he reacted and responded as captain? Because I mean, it's a new sort of responsibility and role for him to try and lift the group off the pitch.
He reacts how I expect a captain to react. And this is not so much off the pitch, much more on the pitch, because there is where you win games and not off the pitch. I mean, you have to walk out there and be always the role model for what we are standing for. And when you see him running and him fighting for everything in every game, then this is what a captain should do. Not speaking in the dressing room or telling how it works, showing on the pitch how it works. And this is how, for me, a captain should be.
And for him, you sort of just touching on that, he's played every minute again this season, just like he did last season. This season in particular, lots of players up and down the country are getting injured. Is it just natural fitness of him, or is it something he looks after himself off the pitch? Because I mean, he's always fit and available for you every week.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Because he's absolutely the fittest player we have in our team, and this is one of his biggest strengths. It doesn't mean that he has not sometimes problems there or there. This is also there, but he lives very professional. He works very professional. He eats quite professional, and I think this completely package lead you to playing every minute so far.
Cool. Thank you, Ralph. All the best Sunday. Cheers.
Okay. Hideo at Kyoto News.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Hi, I just wanted to ask you about Minamino's regarding his situation for the international break. So the Japanese FA has said that they do want to call up the European-based players, but I was wondering if you had talks of whether you would allow him to go or not.
Yeah, it's a good question, to be honest. It depends where they play and what are the consequences we have to take if he plays somewhere. And if it is no problem for him to travel there and to come back and not go in quarantine, I'm still not super happy that they are going somewhere out of our bubble, because that always takes risks. Yeah. And on the other side, if you have to do it, then it must be clear that when he's coming back, that he doesn't have to go in quarantine, because we need every player. And this is the reason why I, in general, in the moment, cannot agree to any international games. Yeah? But I know they are important for these teams when they're coming up. Or we should think slowly but surely about the restrictions, about travel restrictions we have, because we have the virus all over the world. The mutations are meanwhile also all over the world. So I cannot really 100% understand why we have still travel restrictions, because of a few different numbers we have. We are always moving in our bubble, and therefore we have not contact to anybody.
So have you actually had any official talks with the Japanese FA, or is that
Not
still?
Yet. Not yet.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Tom Leach.
Hi, Ralph, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you.
Just a quick one from me. You've made clear that you want to make your squad bigger, more depth over the summer, looking ahead to next season. Do you see any of the players who are currently out on loan playing a part in that? I saw Mohamed El Yanousi say this week that he's thinking about his next step. Do you see him potentially playing a part next season?
We have a few players in our mind. You can be sure that every player who is on loan, we try to follow and try to have the latest information about his performances, his physically conditions he is in the moment, and we have to do this. And therefore, we have a look on a few ones, and everybody who does well has a chance to come back in the summer. This is how it should be.
On your squad depth ahead of next season, we saw Mohamed Salah at the left back on Wednesday, which I think was an interesting watch, and he's definitely got the pace to play there. He's obviously a potential option for you there now. Do you think he could save you having to bring in a fullback next season? His performance was quite strong, I thought, against Man City.
It was okay, especially against the ball. He was good. Defensively, did a good job. It's not his natural position, but it was important for me to see. This was also the chance I took on Wednesday to give a few players on a position where I want to see how good they are there. And it's a little bit risky against such strong side to try something, but I think it still worked well. And finally, he was not he is maybe not the third alternative if you want to, but I would like to have two really left or right backs next season, because this is what we have seen this season, that we have always problems when we have injuries on some positions, so we need to double up every position.
When it comes to that then, do you see that, just to pick up on something you said, do you see that then as you need two right backs and two left backs, or do you see yourself going for more of a player who can play, two boxes ticked there with one player, or do you want two more?
I mean, in general, it's always good when you have a flexible player who can play more positions. This always helps you. But on the left back, you should have the left-footed one who runs the line, who can really go deep and deliver balls from this position and everything with what we need on this position. So it's not so easy to find, but this is definitely something we should look at. Yeah.
Thank you, Ralph.
Okay, Rob at the Sun.
Good afternoon, Ralph.
Hello.
Considering the amount of injuries you've had, and a lot of Premier League clubs have got a lot of injuries, and there was no pre-season, do you think the Premier League should have allowed clubs a sort of an emergency loan opportunity, allow them the opportunity to loan in players into a squad just because players are falling by the wayside this season?
A good question, yeah. I mean, it is a strange season, to be honest. This was a not typical season we had with all the games. I mean, we nearly play through a whole year now, fully, most of the time, 3 times a week. Especially the top teams do it nearly, I think, since September or something like that. So this is definitely, for the players, an unbelievable hard year. Yeah? And also not having any kind of recovery without or flying somewhere or recovering somewhere else. It is not easy for them, I think. But we should also know that from next season on, we have other circumstances, and then it is good that we keep on we stick back to the rules what we have had all the time, because it worked, I think. And when the fans are coming back, it's even easier, I think, sometimes for the players, because the emotional aspect, the emotions you get from the fans can also help you to go through some tough seasons.
You had backing from Matt Letizia and Francis Benali, 2 icons of Southampton. They said you are the right man to take the club forward, just after a difficult patch that you've been in. How grateful are you to that reaction and response from those 2 key icons?
Thanks very much. I think they did a massive job for this club, and you could always feel that this club means something special for them, and maybe they have the feeling that this club is also means something special to me, and I can agree. Yeah, I know about the toughness of this job here. I know about the problems we have sometimes, but I also know that if we overperform, that we can also have some interesting, some good wins to take. And as I said one time, sometimes it's more fun to be the pirate than to join the Navy, and this is why I like to be here.
And a word on Che Adams. He scored in the last 2 games, obviously. Is that something you want to see him replicate, basically, to 2 goals in 2 games now? Presumably he's set a standard now you want him to replicate for the rest of the season.
What manager or who manager does not want to see his strikers scoring every weekend? So, me too.
Thank you.
Okay, Dan Ludlam.
Hi, Ralph, you okay?
Yes, thank you.
Just building off what you said earlier about the players in the squad in general, do you have real concerns that the Southampton squad will suffer from burnout before the end of the season? Is that a real concern for you?
No, because I think we're getting players back now, and that gives me more alternatives, and that helps me then to have more alternatives for my game plan, and this can help us winning more games.
And just to follow up on that, Pep Guardiola said in midweek that your side gave City their hardest game at home this season. How do you reflect on comments from someone like that? Does that make you sort of feel proud of what you're building at Southampton?
I know Pep, meanwhile, since my time in Germany, and when he wins, he's always very praiseful for the opponent. But I can also see that also during the game, he was really astonished about how we played there and how brave we have been there with our side. And this is what he likes, to be honest. He doesn't like to play against a team that is parking the bus in front of the goal. Yeah, maybe because then he gets more situations like he get against us. But I think we didn't give them so many chances in the first half. In the second half, it was a little bit different because then they were 2 up, and then it's easier for them, and they get more space and everything. But I think now we changed the way to play against them a little bit. In the last 3 games, I must say that we had nearly 50% possession against them in every game. And not a lot of teams out there doing it like this. And we had one game, we lost with 1 goal, and this time we conceded a few more goals more. But I see that the way we do it is more enjoyable for me and also for the players. And yes, we are still then not winning against them, okay, but we can take it better in this way than in being passive, defending around the box for 90 minutes, and then going home with also a defeat. Then you sit in the bus and think, oh, this was a wasted evening.
Thank you very much, Ralph.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, thanks very much, everyone.